This is an overview of the Matlab application. This is for Matlab 7.7, otherwise known as R2008B, which is the application the students should have for the ECET 300 class. If you look at the application, there are 4 windows, at least in the way that I've set up the windows. On the left, there is a workspace window, which you'll see shortly show the variables that you define. There is a current directory window that shows applications, in this case some M files that I've created a long time ago, and these are programs. I can go back to the workspace, and again, if I had variables, you would see that. I have a command history window which will show me the commands that I've written out or typed in with the command window. Let's take a look at what happens in Matlab. For instance, I could have 2 plus 2 and hit enter. Notice I get an answer, or a variable called ANS equals to 4. In the workspace area, there is a variable called ANS which has the number 4. And in the command history, there are the numbers 2 plus 2, which are the commands I issued. If I go back to the command window, I could have 3 times 20. Again, I have an answer. The variable was replaced by the number 60, and I have the second history command, 3 times 20. So I know I've done 2 different calculations. I could create a variable, and we'll be talking more about that later on. And let me say the variable is called t, and I assign a value by putting the equal sign, and let's just type in the number 40 and hit enter. Notice now, if I go into the workspace area, I have both the answer, which was the answer through the expression 3 times 20, and a variable t. And once again, in the command history, I have that expression. Note that my window is starting to get filled up. An easy way to start at the very beginning is to right-click and say Clear Command Window. And now I've cleared everything. I could also do subtraction. And if I wanted to do a power, I would, let's say, x equals 3 cubed, which would be caret and 3, and that gives me 27. And once again, I have another variable called x. Notice that every time I type a command, I get a response back. However, if I did that same command, x equals 3 caret 3, and I put a semicolon and then hit the enter key, you notice I don't get a response. The semicolon prevents the response or the answer to appear. It is very important when I'm dealing with an array, which you will see shortly, that may contain 100, 200 values. You don't want them to all appear on the screen. Finally, if I want to just clear this screen now, I could also type a command, CLC. When I hit enter, it clears the screen. Note that the variables are not cleared. Note that the history is not cleared. If I want to clear history, I can click in that history, right-click, and say Clear Command History, and say yes. To clear the variables, I could just click on all the variables, or some, and then press the delete key. That is an introduction to Matlab.